Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha, this is Geebz here, your old composer here at the Decomposer Lounge, the beach version. Now, even though the studio is back up and running after that little mishap that I had, I think I'm going to do this at least once a week. Come out to the beach or somewhere where I live and just do an outside, change the environment a bit. So the very first band that I'm going to be doing for this morning, well, it's the only band I'm doing this morning, is a band called Autonomist, and the song is called Majestic. This came to me through Patreon. Thank you so much, Patreon members, for your support. So I look very much forward to this. Also, speaking of support, thank you guys for just commenting and liking or even disliking. I still get plenty of those. So anyhow, why don't you join me in my Death Wish coffee? Because you know, guys, I cannot do my thing here without having some form of libation. Usually it's in the form of very strong coffee. So let's do this. This is the band Autonomist, and the name of the song is Majestic. All right. Okay, so I take it that this is an instrumental piece, or what I have been getting suggestions of lately are instrumental versions of songs that, well, the lead vocal isn't present. And I've never in my life ever heard of anything like that except for metal, and you guys know this is still a new journey for me, that they would do releases like that. I don't think there's any other genre that does a release where you have the lead and then the melody and the singer, and then you pull that and you just have the instrumental. I don't know how, and I wish I knew how to get that really sick, deep, bendy guitar sound that they have there. You know, there's something, I had a conversation with a friend of mine that had to do with this style of music and stuff, on how these riffs are very bass oriented. And what I mean by that is, in all my years of being a musician, you know, the bass is a one note instrument in general. Yes, of course, you can do chords with it. We've seen it done. It happens all the time. But in general, it is or if you're using a pick, single note. And when I imagine what's going on here, I'm thinking of this as a great bass line that they decide, you know, they're going to juice it up with the guitars. The musicianship at this level is unquestionable. It's fantastic. I love the sound of the kit. But yeah, I guess this is an instrumental. That little, or not that little, the solo or the lead that was happening there, you know, the precision and the kind of, you know, wood shedding it takes to become that good is so damn intense. And I myself personally don't have the, what's the word I'm looking for? The longevity of doing something like a phrase of maybe more than 2 bars, and these guys can go on 8 to 10, 12 bars doing. I just don't have that. But let's just keep going. Let's see what we got here. Hit the play button, dude. Here it is. You know, that was something that I didn't mention before. I think it was because I was just focusing on the riff quite a bit, which is the fact that, you know, really super cool opening that they gave us, this kind of spacey, ethereal, ambient kind of vibe with that picking configuration with the guitar that had a lot of delay. But then there was other arrangement textures that came in through that. So what I like for myself, my personal tastes are, I'm a dynamics freak, and these guys hit, you know, 10 plus on everything when it comes to that, and establishing an experience sonically that just goes just deeper into the head, just by virtue of using, you know, delays and reverbs, and also the fact that the opening and the closing of this was this very laid back, set you up, kind of like serving you slowly, here's a little bit of what's coming, you know, kind of a thing. And then, of course, when they hit us, at the very beginning of the track too, there was a slight little time shift that was happening there. I don't know if it was a meter shift or if it was syncopation, but at that point I was really listening to the guitar tones. This time around, I had mentioned the bass, I really drilled down and was listening to the bass. What an incredible sound. I mean, I'm so far gone as an older composer, and especially in rock, you know, even though I've spent my whole life engineering just as well, I just have not specialized in this style. And even though I've looked up videos like, how are they doing this? It's like, you know, the chain of effects sometimes could be crazy, and it's just, and also learning less is more. I remember when I first tried to do some riff, you know, on my 7-string when I first bought it last year. Yeah, let me put it on 11. Well, why does it sound so? And then you realize you got to dial it down and find the right compression and stuff. And this sounds great. I don't think the guitars are doubled in the riff. It didn't sound like it. It sounded like, you know, they may have, to get their width, a lot of times engineers will double mic cabinets, mic in the front, mic in the back, split the cabinets up. It sounds really authentic that way, where there wasn't a lot of overdubs. There is a little bit of like an organ thing that was happening at the beginning, and then you hear it again at the end, kind of in a pad. Not so much a pad as a single note, but there was a high-end thing that was going there, so that's what it sounded like to me. And I like how they brought us back down. They kind of like said, here you go, and then they hit us with it, and then they pulled it back, you know, through just kind of with that nice little bringing down of the arrangement at the end. But this was a great listen. Please tell me if this was an anomaly in the album, or is this an instrumental band? I look forward to your suggestions. I look forward to your comments. And like usual, thank you so much for your support. You know where the links are if you want to buy me a cup of coffee. Check out my Patreon. Check out the headsets I'm using. And thanks for joining me here on the beach. A couple clouds passed by, but you know, you take what you can. And the fact that it's not raining, that's always a good thing. You guys take care of yourself. I got a banger week for you coming up. All right.